Hello everybody. So in this video we're going to be looking how we can design a responsive navbar in Figma, and it's a short video, and in the next video we're going to take that design and make it into HTML, CSS and some JavaScript to make it into an actual and usable navbar. So as I said, this is a short video, so let's get started. First, let me just rename this file to simple navbar. Okay, so let's start by creating a desktop layout here. We're not going to be filling the entire layout, just we need the top part for the navbar. I'm going to rename it 1440p because we're going to make you're going to make it responsive, so we're going to need to create another like 390p display to simulate it on a smaller device. So let's start. First I'm gonna take out square and I'm gonna put it at the top. Now this square will be our nav bar, so everything in the nav bar will be contained inside this square. And just to separate it from the body's color, which is white, I'm gonna give it somewhat, you know what, instead of giving it like a color, what we can make is we can disable the fill and give it a stroke. Just give it a stroke on the bottom. So here it's simple. You can see this kind of nav bars. Primarily Google uses it in most of their sites. So here we have got the container. Now what we need to do is first, before that, I'm gonna work on a layout so we have equal white space from the left and the right of the display. So just a 12 column layout and that will be fine. Okay, so let's start. The first thing we'll need, for now the first thing we'll need is that would be a logo, right? Now because this is a simple example, I'm not gonna make a logo from scratch. Instead I'm just gonna use a text logo, but I'm gonna make it a bit interesting. So let's just give it a logo with a name. You can say navbar. Okay, maybe that's the fictional company we're working for. I'm gonna make it bold and I'm gonna change this to Poppins. So the font will be Poppins. Let's get bold, and to make it more interesting, first let me make a 16 pixels, since that's most of the time a good size. Then let's just take the V and yeah, maybe something like 36. So just to make something interesting out of it, and we can come and make all of them capital. We can give it a gradient color, maybe for something, yes, just a simple logo. It's not meant to be anything really special. Maybe that closer. Yeah. So when it comes to our when we develop it, we're gonna export this as an SVG because it's much easier than just creating it from scratch in CSS. So continuing on, let me take out the grid and can right here along the grid. Okay, so that's good. Now let's work on the links. So we'll have simple links like home. Let's put this back to auto. It seems not to be working. Okay. Let's make it since we will think that we are currently in the home page, so the home nav item should have some sort of difference from the others, just to tell the user where they are in the site. So for that, I'm gonna make it bold. Let's bring it back to 14 pixels, for all of them will have that in common. Yeah, and instead of making bold, actually, let's make it regular. Let's make it default casing, and I'm gonna give it a background. Not a background that stands out, just simple background to just create separation. Let's take them all and group them. Don't need to be quite big. So yeah, this seems fine. Then we gotta change the fill. We're gonna take it to be white, and we can just small separation, something just to make sure people understand where they are. It shouldn't be so much such a big difference from the background. It should be subtle. Now I'm gonna give it just corners, and let me just make it a bit darker. Yeah, so this is good. It's just enough for people to understand where they are in the site. So let's work on the second one. That should be the about, which will not have anything different. Then we will have, let's say, services, then pricing, let's say contact. So let's take all these and group them together, and out of that just we can come here and say plus here, and that would be, you can do the same, but instead we can use the keyboard shortcut Shift and A, and that would do the same. Okay, so now let's give them space. Let's give them about, most of the time I use like 44. Yeah, that seems good. 44. Yeah. Now we can make we have to make a decision. Either we can make it like this, where the logo is on one side and the nav links are on the other side, but I'm gonna take a different approach here. I want to give people a get started button, and I want to put the get started button in the nav bar, so they can always sign up. They always have an option to sign up whatever site page they're in. So first let's create it. So first, rectangles contain the button. You can come here, say get started, and let's make this bold. The button is called CTA, or call to action button, and it should be something in the page that is very visible, that takes the eye of the user. Okay, so we can accomplish that with the background, and I'm going to use the background color we've been using right here, but just to make it stand out, I'm going to give it a bit, I'm going to make it a bit lighter. Perfect. And I'm going to come here, take this, change this. So let's Shift A and group them. So one rule in UX design is, it's not a rule, but a tip, if I may say, is that you can when making a button, the width of the button should be always greater than the height of the button. So I'm gonna, 8 is probably a good size. We'll adjust that, and 24 I always use. So this for now is a good button. And let's just take this and make it into 16 pixels. Let's 12. So if we put it side by side here, screams out. That's yeah, screams out. It's there is a very visible distinction from them all, and the user will first see this, and his mind will always be on the get started button. We can make it more interesting though. As you can see, we gave it border radiuses. We made it curved on the sides, so we can come here and do the same here. I can select this. About 8 will be good. Perfect. So now what you can do is take this, put it right here. Now we have all that we need. We can shift A to group them all, and we can come here. First let me make this photo so it would be easier to work with, and if I click here it will all align them center in the center. So this is our navbar. This is our navbar that we will be making it in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay. So now let's work on the same navbar but for mobile, for phone displays, right? So I always use iPhone 14 because I think most people, it's a common format. So it's a 390p display. So what you can do is I can from the 480p, it's the same concept. We can take a triangle and pull it out, take out the fill, give it a stroke 1 pixel at the bottom, and we can only make it at the bottom. Yeah. So now we can't have all of this. So what we can have is the navbar, the logo, and let's come here and give it an auto layout. Sorry, a layout grid. 12 layout grid. Okay, we can put it here. 16 pixel, 14, and we're gonna make it 16 in the browser anyway. Okay, so here we have that, but we need to make it a bit smaller, and I'm gonna accomplish that by first making the it was 16 if you remember. I'm gonna make it 14, and I'm gonna make the navbar smaller. 24 would be a good number. Then let's position it correctly. By the way, if you see here, if you select it, there is almost equal white space from the above and below. We're gonna make it more equal in the browser, about 24 pixels. We'll see when we code it. So what's next? We want users to be able to access this, to be able to access the home, about the links, and also the get started button. So as you can see, there is not really space for that in a mobile. So what we can do is we can put a mobile navigation and a menu, and then we can make that into an actual working navigation, so that people can toggle it and use it in a mobile. But we're not gonna design that concept here, and we're not gonna code it in the next video. Instead, I'm gonna, after the third video, I'm gonna take time and I'm gonna work on it, because when I was starting out, this was one of the hardest things I used to struggle with. So I think we can give it its own separate video. So I'm gonna go to plugins. There's a plugin called Iconify. Okay, if you don't have it, just come here and say manage plugins, and you can come here and search for Iconify. Okay, I already have it, so let's just run it. And this is a plugin that you can use to get many different icons. You can see I was using it to get a menu. So here, by the way, I haven't designed this before I started the video. I'm doing it just right now. So let's start. I think something like this. Okay, we just drag and drop it, and that should be fine. Now all I like to do is I like to take in the vector, the actual icon without the container. Let's delete the container. Now we can work with this. Let's make it quite bigger. 24 by 16. That seems like a good size. Yeah, that seems a decent size. A bit bigger. Nice. Yeah. Maybe we can reduce the height a bit, and the width 26 by 16. That seems good. Now let's bring the back to layout, and we can now position them, and Shift A again. Come here, put it up auto, and here we have a responsive application. So starts right here and ends here. So about a tablet size when this change will occur. Yeah, when it gets to about a tablet size, like 50 MB, I think that's 720. I'm not quite sure. This change will occur, and we're gonna do that using media query. Yeah, so you can take this. So as you can see, it's not anything complicated, too complicated. Simple, and it's effective. It's effective more than all. It's really tested. You can see in many websites this is the kind of navigation many websites use. So if you can make this kind of website navigation, you don't really need anything more complex than this. We're gonna come back and see how we can make this work, the mobile toggle, but for now this is enough. So thank you for watching. Until the next video, goodbye.